Hello everybody, welcome to XPDLA Week 6, going up against the Mad Hatterenes, coached by Queen Eileen. This is going to be a bit of a break off from the past two-week clusters and then the video that I put together for the Week 3 game. I'm doing these last four battles in separate videos because one of them, the final battle of the season, was really long. I was considering doing the next three all in one little cluster, and then doing the last battle on its own, but I figured it's just kind of pointless. So, my opponent this week, I said, Queen, coach of the Mad Hatterenes. Her team consists of Garchomp, Togekiss, Toxtricity, Whimsicott, Miltank, Lapras, Mega Houndoom, Jirachi, Buzzwole, and Alomomola. So this game, obviously being the oldest, is the one I remember the least. I didn't watch it before I recorded this, probably should have, but you know what I mean. It's whatever. Anyway, the threats to my team, though, are definitely going to be the Mega Houndoom and the Buzzwole. The Buzzwole more defensively, like the defensive core this week of Buzzwole plus, I'm expecting Lapras, so that's a really good answer to Torn. Alomomola and Jirachi is just kind of fucking annoying for me to deal with. You add in a Togekiss, potentially a Miltank, potentially, like, she could bring a fully defensive team. I'm less worried about something along the lines of Garchomp or Toxtricity, although I did take Toxtricity into account when building this team, and I figured it wasn't super unlikely. The set I figured was coming, though, would be like a Specs set or a Scarf, possibly even Assault Vest, because I didn't think Shift Gear had the greatest matchup, so I expected it to be low-key, or, I expected it to be modest slash timid, and if it was regular Toxtricity, that pretty much cinches that it would be Shift Gear, because, it has to be in the regular form to have Shift Gear, so, I'm bringing Mawile first. This thing absolutely demolishes her team. The problem is figuring out what moves I wanted to run, so this is where, where getting rid of Regirock was kind of a mistake. Regirock had a really good matchup for this game, to be honest, with a set of, Stealth Rock, Toxic, Earthquake, and another move. Something along those lines, you know what I mean? It just looked really good this game, but I decided to drop that for Kofag, because I felt like having a Ghost type was kind of essential for the team I made, but I really don't like running hazards on Scolipede, to be honest, and that's my only stack option, so blocking spin isn't super necessary, although Kofag and Regirock do kind of serve similar purposes in being a relatively sturdy physical walls, plus Kofag has Toxic Spikes, so that's good too, but honestly, I kind of regret dropping it for that. I probably could have dropped something else for a Ghost type, but I'm stuck with it. I have to decide to either put rocks on this Mew or Mamo. Decided to put them on this week, because the player-off switch-ins are few and far between. Alomomola and Jirachi are the best ones, and obviously it's really good for those. I wanted to put on Knockoff over Stealth Rock, maybe even Thunder Punch, or excuse me, Rock Slide to hit the Houndoom. This player-off doesn't one-shot Mega Houndoom, and I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm going to be really scared of that thing. Plus, Rock Slide is handy for the Togekiss. If it's, physically defensive, it does more damage than Play-Rough, I think. And Thunder Punch would have been really nice to do more damage to Aloe, slash Lapras. But in the end, I decided to put rocks on this because Mew didn't need them, because I'm bringing an offensive Mew, and I didn't want to put them on Mamoswine. Mamoswine is coming this week, but it's a different set, so I decided to run this. Not exactly the best set, because I kind of wanted another attack, but Play Rough is super hard for her to switch into. Toxtricity doesn't want to take it, that's why Sucker Punch is there to hit that reliably. I have speed to creep a no-speed Alomomola and some change. I think this also potentially is good for a minus speed Rotom, or a minus speed Togekiss if it wants to have E-speed for some fucking reason. So yeah, this is a good set. It's really, really hard for her to answer, and there you go. Up next we have Mew. It's Lumberry, because I don't want to get Thunder Waved or poisoned, and then potentially outsped by Toxtricity if it's Choice Spexed, or a Buzzwole. So I put Psychic and Earth Power. Earth Power is pretty much just there for Jirachi and Houndoom. Hits both of those simultaneously, and those are both the Psychic checks. This set's just really good. I don't know, nothing really else to add. This set just kind of cleans house if it can set up. essentially on Garchomp or on Toxtricity. If it's locked into something it doesn't want to be locked into, it switches out into like Houndoom. I get up a Calm Mind, live a Dark Pulse, kill that with an Earth Power. That frees up a few things on my team. So up next we have Mamoswine. I really regret bringing this thing, to be honest with you. It didn't have the greatest matchup, but offensively it had a really good matchup. But Buzzwole and Alomomola are both extremely good checks to it, and the fact that I have to put Toxic on it in order to assure some sort of reliable damage onto either of those is pretty telling that this thing's matchup wasn't super great off the start. I really wanted to fit Hidden Power Flying on here, but it didn't do super good damage to the Buzzwole that I expected, which was physically defensive pretty much fully, because it also takes a hit from physically defensive fully with Koba Berry. So it pretty much fully takes on Mawile plus Obstagoon plus Scolipede plus Mamoswine super reliably if it's fully physically defensive, and it doesn't need that much attack investment for what it wants to do. So I'm assuming a set like Roost, Leech Life, a set like Roost, Body Press, Stone Edge, and Earthquake is coming to this week. Potentially Leech Life on there over a Stone Edge. Or Earthquake, I suppose, because Body Press could do good damage to Mawile, and it's not affected by Intimidate like Earthquake is. So I expect some sort of Fizz-Def set, and with Koba Berry, that's why I took Hidden Power Flying off, put Toxic on, and then I brought the next one, which is a really good switch into fully physically defensive, and that's gonna be Vaporeon. This set, aside from that though, offensively it really does do a lot of work. Also, it's Miltank with Toxic. So there were 3 amazing checks to Mamo. I really was considering bringing, what was it called? I think Magneton in this slot, with the Spec set. But I figured that was way too easily checked by Garchomp, Houndoom, Toxtricity even can do good damage to that, although it doesn't really want to switch in on anything. But it's really good against a lot of the other ones on the team. You know, like the Alomomola, it breaks that really reliably. It's pretty much the only way Magneton can trap and take care of Jirachi reliably, and even then it could just U-turn out. But, you know, and it does good damage to stuff like Togekiss and Whimsicott. But I just felt like that set was way too susceptible to Garchomp, especially with Scale Shot. I would get forced out into, like, Vaporeon, and then it could get up a Scale Shot and then do good damage to me on the switch. Potentially get up an SD into an Earthquake, and I don't have Ice Beam, so yeah, once it's shown that I don't have Ice Beam, then the Garchomp becomes a lot more of a problem. So I decided to bring this instead. If it's Scale Shot, Yakshi Berry on Chomp, Ice Shard still does a good amount with the Max Attack Life Orb set, but kind of do regret bringing this instead of Magneton. I probably could have brought Magneton Scarf, but it didn't do enough damage to stuff like Houndoom switching in, and especially Jirachi, so I thought that wasn't the best, but I could have brought Scarf Modest and everything. Next we have the Wakamberry Vaporeon. Yeah, it's good. I don't really know what else to say. It's a really reliable switch into Buzzwole. It checks Garchomp extremely well, unless it's sub. But even if it's sub, like with a bunch of Spidef, Scald should, unless it has a bunch of Spidef, I mean, Scald should break that. It's reliable for Houndoom. It's pretty good for, like, Jirachi if it's not Calm Mind, because I don't have Haze or Roar. I really had 4 Move Slot Syndrome this week. I needed to bring Wish, obviously. And then I wanted to run Flip Turn over Scald, because I felt like Heal Bell was essential, because I really expected the Alomomola or some sort of status spam, like a Body Slam from... Get back, please. Body Slam from Jirachi, and yeah, T-Wave from Miltank, stuff like that. I didn't want to deal with that, so I brought Heal Bell, and then Protect, Flip Turn, like Shadow Ball, Ice Beam. And Scald, like I put Flip Turn on over that at one point. It was really hard to come up with a good Vaporeon set this week. This mon, like, it's a really reliable check to stuff, but it's got really bad 4 Move Slot Syndrome sometimes, and this is one of those cases, so I just decided to go with this set. It's pretty passive, but if I can Scald Burn the Buzzwole, my team becomes a lot more freed up. And then here's the other mon I kind of regret bringing, and that's Obstagoon. This is a bit less so than Mamo, because its speed tier is high enough, and it can take a Flamethrower, probably not a Fire Blast, unless it's a Timid, but I expect Modest probably, on Houndoom, to the point, like, its speed tier is really good to where it definitely reliably takes on quite a bit of the team. It's bulky enough to take stuff like Earthquake from Garchomp, and Flamethrower from Houndoom, like I said. And it doesn't care about Scald Burns from Aloe like like Mamo does. Protect, I forgot Obstruct existed. I'm going to be completely honest with you. So I put Protect on there to guarantee the Guts comes back if I ever have to heal Bell with Vaporeon, or if I'm in a situation where I can click that. But this is definitely fodder for Buzzwole, and so I probably could have brought a different move here. Knockoff wasn't super necessary. It was definitely really nice for moving stuff like lefties on Togekiss, popping a Colbur on Jirachi, maybe freeing that up for Mawile, letting Mawile be able to kill that with Sucker Punch. But I think Fire Punch, or is it get Fly Move? I don't remember. No, it doesn't. Yeah, potentially, Fire Punch was probably the better option in that slot, because it does more damage than... It does about it... Doesn't it do about as much as Facade, actually? I don't know. No, it actually does less than Facade, so actually Fire Punch wouldn't have been that good. But I was considering other moves, like Bulk Up was there at one point, but I really didn't want to be walled by Rotom if that came. And Rotom isn't completely unlikely, because it is an okay check to Mew and Torn. So I figured that I'd put on Knockoff for that, and pop items like get rid of Leftovers or Chople Berry on Miltank, and Assault Vest on the Lapras, or Boots on that, something like that. But Knockoff really wasn't super necessary this week. And then finally we have a Nasty Plot Tornadus. Just 3 attacks. It's got Boots because rocks are pretty likely, and then it's an amazing check to most Buzzwole sets. Why, this is the sole reason I'm pretty sure Stone Edge is guaranteed on Buzzwole. It could also be Scarfed, possibly, but I think that that's a lot less reliable in terms of checking my 4 big physical threats this week. Because otherwise, Scolipede looks really good, but that's the whole reason I didn't want to bring it, was Buzzwole. So, yeah, I figure Fizdef Buzzwole's likely. So this definitely is a great thing for that. I wanted to run Charty Berry, but I felt like being able to dodge the rocks, because I'm pretty sure they're going to go up, and then they're just going to stay up because I'm not bringing Defog on anything this week, and either Mew or Torn, so... And then Focus Blast is there to nail a Lapras, because I'm like 99.9% sure Lapras is coming to this game, because it checks... It pretty much hard walls the Vaporeon set I'm bringing, and even if I ran Toxic on it, it wouldn't be that great. I figured I'd put on Heal Bell because I would try and stop Toxic, so I put Toxic on Mamoswine because I needed to put it somewhere. Again, just relatively flawed logic, so... I brought Nasty Plot on Torn, and then HP Grounds, obviously they're pretty much just for Toxtricity, but it also does, obviously, reliable damage to Jirachi, so yeah, it hits both of those. So let's get right into the game here. That was a long fucking team builder, Jesus. Yeah, my opponent brought her Buzzwole, Lapras, Mega Doom, Jirachi, Togekiss, and Toxtricity, so I see immediately right off the bat that the Toxtricity is not low-key form, because it would show that in the team builder, obviously. Or not in the team preview, so I'm figuring that is going to be Shift Gear pretty much 100%. So it is actually not a good switch-in for stuff like Torn and well, I mean, it's an okay switch-in to Vaporeon, because it has to be either minus defense or minus Spadef, and I figure it's going to be minus Spadef because even though that inhibits its ability to switch in on Hurricanes, it's pretty obvious that I'm going to have Hidden Power around on my Tornadus for this, because I kind of have to. And if it's not Scarf, it's not a good switch in anyway, so... even if it can switch in on Scalds, like, the damage fall off is too negligible, and the Ice Shard is like, being able to not die to Ice Shard for more ranges of health is better than being able to switch in on more Scalds, so I figured that it would be mild. I think that's right. My plus attack minus defense is what I figured it would be this week, or plus speed minus defense. But regardless, I'm pretty sure I'm going to lead with Tornado. No, not Tornadus. I'm going to lead with Obstagoon. I lead with Mamoswine. So I wanted to get the illusion that this is a Sash lead Mamo, and I want to drag in the Buzzwole and potentially Toxic it. I'm expecting a Jirachi or a Houndoom lead. Houndoom because if I lead with Mawile, then fuck me, or Mew even. So. And because it can take a Hurricane from Torn, it can't really take a Focus Blast, but it's not guaranteed I'm going to have Focus Blast. So the Houndoom does lead off here, and so the Buzzwole's going to immediately come in. I think I just click Earthquake, which was really stupid. The whole reason I led with this was to potentially Toxic the switch in, from what I remember. And just going for Toxic right off the bat there would have been really invaluable, obviously. But here we see the Leftovers, so we know that it's not Koba or Roselli Berry. So potentially Mawile could do some really good work to that, and Hurricane from Torn is guaranteed to kill it from pretty much all ranges. So here I'm going to go into Vaporeon, because that's pretty much that's my switch in for this. And I'm going to go ahead and Scald. It's pretty obvious that it's not staying in. I'm going to go for Wish. The fact that it was staying in was really, or wasn't staying in was really obvious, so I figured it would be the Jirachi coming in and getting a Scald Burn on that while that would be nice, I wouldn't be able to do too much damage to it. Here I'm going to Scald, and I get crit by a Boom Burst, and that's really unfortunate, as the Throat Spray goes off. I'm going to Scald it, do about half, and I really don't have anything to come in on this, as the Overdrive's going to come off. I'm going to ignore my Comberry because I get crit. I don't think that it was a roll. I think it was actually a roll at that point, but yeah. Vaporeon's dead, and that's really unfortunate, because now my only great switch-ins to the Buzzwole are Mawile if it doesn't have Earthquake and Tornadus. So that's going to be pretty annoying. But I do have a decent... I have 3 things that can offensively kill it, being this, Tornadus, Mew can come in on this this thing right here and Psychic it and knock it out, and then I could go into Obstagoon and Facade. I figure Obstagoon would draw in the Buzzwole right away, and I didn't want that to happen, so I wanted to go into Torn to stop the Buzzwole from coming in. Well, that's pretty much my thought process there. I knocked it out with an HP Ground. This comes in, the Lapras. It's pretty obvious that this is Assault Vest at this point, but I really don't have a good switch in. And I go for this. She's gonna go for the Sparkling Aria, which is a relatively good bring over Scald, because you prevent yourself from getting Revenge burned from Synchronize, so that's definitely smart. So I'm going to go ahead and Calm Mind as the Houndoom's going to come in. And I live Dark Pulse, I think. Yeah, and I'm going to go for Earth Power, but it's not going to do enough damage, because there's a bit of bulk on this Houndoom, I think, or I don't have enough attack on my Mew. So unfortunately, I'm going to lose my Mew here, which kind of sucks. I'm actually going to go into Torn to take a Dark Pulse, because it's pretty obvious the Dark Pulse has to come out. So I'm going to go ahead and Focus Blast. No, I'm going to Hurricane here. Why did I HP Ground? I clicked HP Ground because it was the only move I had that we guaranteed hit, but Focus Blasting probably would have been in my best interest there, because there's no way the Houndoom is going to stay in. It's still valuable because I can Roost with Mew on, like, Jirachi if it doesn't have U-Turn, so, or Iron Head, and it depends on stats, basically. I can Roost on the Togekiss, potentially, and still set up on that, and, yeah, I could potentially Roost on this Lapras as well. So, staying in wasn't really in the best interest. Keeping that alive in the back for Mew would have been really good. So, yeah, I shouldn't have HP Ground. I really should have Focus Blasted there, but I'm going to go into Obstagoon because I have to. I really don't have anything else to go into on this besides Mew, which would die to a Sparkling Aria from here. So I'm going to Facade, and this is just a really bulky Buzzwole, isn't it? So I have to go for Parting Shot, and I'm going to go into Mawile here, I believe. Yeah, and I'm expecting a Leech Life, but unfortunately it's going to be a Drain Punch, or it's going to be a Roost that comes out. So I have to go for Play Rough. I pretty much have no other play. Nothing really, yeah, but I'm going to do a lot of damage to Lapras. I'm going to Play Rough and a Sucker Punch that I really don't want to risk being slower and then getting Drill Run, so I'm just going to knock that out with Sucker. And then the Houndoom's going to come in, and I'm going to Sucker. Really stupid play on my part, because if this is coming in, it's pretty obvious that it's not going to attack, because she just saw I use Sucker Punch. It's the same train of thought I had with the Charizard Mega-Y a couple weeks ago, where I didn't Sucker Punch because the Roost was really obvious, but then I got Flamethrowered, so I didn't want that to happen again, but the Destiny Bond's going to come out, and that's a really good bring. I'm going to go into Mew, sack it off, the Fire Blast is going to kill me, and then I'm going to go into Tornadus and click, I think, Hurricane here. I clicked HP Ground again, which was really stupid, because again, the Houndoom is still relatively valuable, especially because she showed Destiny Ball, but Hurricane's gonna go off. That does fuck all, so this is a fully Spadef Togekiss. So I'm just gonna go into Mamoswine. Here I go for Toxic, because I expect the Buzzwole to come in. If I was gonna do that, doubling back into Torn was definitely the play there. Or even going into Mawile was good there, but I didn't want to get Flamethrowered by Togekiss, expecting Mawile to come in. So the thing's gonna wish. I also expected like a Flamethrower to come out there because of the possibility of Torn coming in, and if you get a burn on Torn, then that's really, really good for you. So I'm gonna try and Toxic the incoming Buzzwole on the Wish, expecting like obviously an Icicle Crash. So I'm gonna go for Toxic. The Togekiss is gonna protect though to reliably heal itself back up, and then I'm gonna go for Icicle Crash, and I'm gonna crit the incoming Buzzwole. So I could potentially go for a flinch on this, but I really don't want to risk it. It's just gonna Drain Punch its health back, but yeah, the Stone Edge is gonna come out. Or no, that's in the future. So Drain Punch is gonna hit me. I'm gonna Nasty Plot on the switch to Togekiss, I believe. Yeah, so the Togekiss is going to come out. I don't think its last move is going to be Thunder Wave. I think its last move is going to be Flamethrower because you really need to hit the Mawile with something. So it's going to Air Slash twice. Here, I go for Toxic. I go for Icicle Crash. Just trying to kill this, but the Buzzwole's going to come back out. And Icicle Crash again. And then this turn, I really should have just sacked Memo, but... Or Obstagoon. Probably sacking Obstagoon would have been smarter here. But I'm going to switch into Tornadus because I figured the Drain Punch is pretty much guaranteed. But Stone Edge does kill me from here. I don't know about this, I don't know if Stone Edge is super duper uber likely because Leech Life, Earthquake, Ice Punch, all those are valuable moves. And I can take an Ice Punch from where I'm at? Probably. No, I definitely cannot. That was really stupid. If it's Ice Punch, I don't expect it to go for that because it doesn't kill the Mammo from here. And you do risk the Icicle Crash flinch. So I figured the Drain Punch was the best play overall. But unfortunately, I'm going to come into Tornadus. Or no, wait. Okay, Icicle Crash here. Roost is going to come out. I tried to fish to the flinch there. And now I'm going to go into Tornadus. Wait, no. What? Okay, Toxic on the Roost. And now I'm going to go into Tornadus on the Stone Edge, which was really stupid. I really should have sacked Obstagoon there. Stone Edge was relatively obvious at that point. I figured because I was staying with Mammo for 2 turns and I'm on 21% that me sacking it was really obvious. So I figured this time the Drain Punch would come out, but now the Stone Edge is going to come out. Tornadus is going to die. I have to go into Mawile because nothing else can kill this. So I'm going to go for the SD, I believe. I'm going to set up Rocks because I really need to kill the Houndoom with something else. But I'm going to get flinched, and that really sucks for me because I can't kill this Togekiss. The Air Slash there was really risky because if I killed this Togekiss and she didn't get the defog off, then the Houndoom would be pretty much dead to Rocks, and then that would be the only way to revenge kill my Mawile unless you have T-Wave Iron Head and then you flinch me a bunch. But Air Slash, really risky. If I killed this, then yeah, would have been really bad. But I'm going to play rough. She gets the defog off and gets the flinch, so it sucks. But Houndoom's going to come out. I have to switch into Obstagoon here. I really don't have another choice. I have to hope for a Fire Blast miss or something stupid to happen. I have to go for the Facade because I need to kill the Houndoom. And then I'm going to go ahead and Parting Shot out on this. But I'm going to Protect to try and rack up some poison damage. It was really just a stupid play there. I expected a Drain Punch to come out, expecting me to Parting Shot, but at that point it was just better to go for the damage with Facade. So the Toxic's gonna come out. I genuinely don't know why I protected it. That was just a really suboptimal play. I'm gonna Facade, do good chip, and get Drain Punched and die. If I sacked this earlier instead of Torn, I would have been in a relatively decent spot. But the suboptimal plays are really starting to rack up at this point. I'm gonna get Drain Punched on my Mawile, so she reveals to not have what's it called? Earthquake, so it doesn't do as much damage. But the Houndoom's gonna come in. I'm going to Sucker Punch, expecting for a choke, hoping for a choke with the Fire Blast, but that's not going to happen. Now, I forgot how this move worked. I forgot how Destiny Bond worked. So, I thought that if it went off on the previous turn at all, if I kill it, it wouldn't matter because I didn't kill it on the previous turn. But it turns out that if I just attack it here, I die because because of how that works. So, how it works is if the opponent has to attack, otherwise you're fucked. You die to it still. So my better play overall was going for Play Rough there, fishing for a Fire Blast miss. But either way, it was definitely not my favor to win this game. I'm gonna go into Mammo. I think even if I got the Fire Blast miss into the Play Rough kill, Jirachi, I think she showed me the Poke Paste after and it had Fire Punch on it. So I think it would have still beaten me. But I'm gonna go for Earthquake. I'm gonna pop the Shucca Berry and this thing's gonna kill me with a Flash Cannon. I think it had HP Ground is what it was. I think Flash Cannon might have done enough, but either way, I'm gonna lose 1-0 this week because I played really, really badly around the Buzzwole and the Togekiss. No, not the Togekiss, the Houndoom. I feel like aside from the plays I made there, I felt like my prep was sufficiently good. It's just, yeah, I didn't play very well with around the Buzzwole especially. I just made suboptimal plays. Protecting with Obstagoon especially was stupid. Instead of just spamming Facade, but yeah. Either way, it would have... Really didn't think it mattered that much. I'm going to lose 1-0 this week. I'm going to drop to, I think, 4-2. Yeah. And so I have to keep up wins. to secure playoffs super, well. Or no, wait. No, I'm 4 and... Oh, I'm 3 and 3. I'm 3 and 3. Fucking can't do math. Week 6, I've lost 3 times. So yeah, to stay in the playoff race, I'm gonna need to try and win out. So hopefully I can do that. I've still got 3 more weeks of battling to do, so I'll keep you all updated with that. So thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.